So today I will be talking about AI and data extraction. So we know that IDP right now, intelligent data processing, is revolutionizing, and it handles data from documents. And we know that a lot of companies use this, right? So, but today we're talking about how we can make this more efficient and even cost reduction on this. So, yep, I'm Abhi. I'm a solution engineer from Uprise. I deal with the APAC region, and Uprise is basically a company that does documents. Can I just have a show of hands who has viewed, opened at a PDF in the last 24 hours? Okay, that's everyone, right? So everyone opens, views PDFs on a daily basis, and it's not just PDFs, right? Documents. So you have your office documents, and all of this play a crucial role in not just our personal lives, but also organizationally. So and we also know that a lot of companies go through digital transformation. So you have things from, signing a document to all the way to doing redaction or extraction, filling up forms and all this. So right now, Uprise, we are the most full-featured processing SDK on the market. And we span all the way from like backend server capabilities to web to mobile. So that's just a quick on what we do. And we do a lot of extraction from PDFs, right? So it might look easy, but there's actually some problems in this. It does complicate the process a bit. And those are things like, first, you have tables in PDFs, right? But tables are more about visual. So we can see a table. Does the computer know there's a table in the PDF? Not really. There's no structure defining that there's a table right here. There are no tags on rows and columns. So we need things like advanced heuristics or ML to understand that there's a table in this PDF. And then your PDF can not even be searchable. It could be a scanned PDF, which is an image. So that is made up of pixels. It's not really made up of characteristics. And then you could also have non-textual content, like things like signatures, stamps, logos, and barcodes. All this is also, they require computer vision and layout understanding to be parsed. So your PDFs basically lack structure. It's not like your JSON or HTML, which have tags in them. Things in PDFs don't really talk with each other. You don't have relationships between these elements. So you need some things to help you find these, right? Extract all these data in your PDF. And so we also deal with thousands of documents. We don't just deal with a single PDF. And what we have in them is a lot of raw data. So what you're doing is feeding all these raw data into LLMs, and that can pose a lot of challenges. So first, we have security risks, which mean that if you're sending a chunk of data where you have not redacted or looked through what you have, you might be sending a lot of sensitive information, health information, and all this can violate GDPR or HIPAA laws. And the second problem that you could face is LLM hallucination or misrepresentation. So when you send unstructured, unrelated data along with the data that you need to pass, your LLM might get confused. It's gonna give you inaccurate results, and we don't want that. And along with all these other inefficiency, you're gonna face high costs. But to understand what the high cost is, how it's being calculated, we need to look at something called tokenization. So I'm sure most of us use ChatGPT on a daily basis, and when you actually send a text-to-text ChatGPT, it doesn't look at the words or characters, but it looks at tokens. So tokens are basically common sequence of characters found in a set of text, right? And it's going to calculate, let's say, we show an example. You have a lot of words here, but the tokens are what's being fed into ChatGPT. The input tokens are 53 in this text right here. So as of April 2025, this is how they price their tokens, which means if I feed about 800 word article, it's going to cost me $0.0025 per 1,000 input tokens. And then when I want a summary out of it, so that's another, let's say 200 words, that's 250 tokens, it's going to cost me that amount with the total of $0.005. Now, that doesn't look like a lot, right? But let's say you're dealing with 1,000 invoices. That will add up to $5 per prompt. So this is going to build up and cost a lot for your usage. And they do have inbuilt solutions for this, which is use subscription models. That gives you a lot of discounts on like token usage. And also you could maybe have a lot of optimization, that is reduce the prompt size, reduce the input, and also be more smart on the output that you want. But we can't just use these small scale solutions when we scale it up to organizational usage. When we use LLM on a large scale, you're dealing with a lot of other costs, right? You're dealing with storage, compute, and bandwidth, and also pre-processing. So storage would mean your raw data, your web scrapes, your logs and documents. All these take up space if it's unfiltered and redundant. So for example, training GPT-3 actually reportedly required hundreds of gigabytes of clean text. That's clean text. So your raw data is going to take up even more space, and you're paying for the storage of that. And then you're going to train the models on these data, which means you have to store them for longer. And bigger models take thousands of GPUs over weeks or months. So that it means electricity, hardware, infrastructure, and orchestration. They all add up. And then you have pre-processing of huge unstructured data sets, which means your ETL pipelines. And then you also have to do quality assurance on this, which is deduplication, filtering, and formatting. And let's say you're moving these data sets from maybe your AWS S3 to GPU clusters. And if they are geographically spread about, you're looking at multi-regional data storage and moving. So this adds up to a lot of amount, and we really don't want that. So there's cost, and then there's also things like privacy and compliance. We also want to reduce any risk of exposing personal data to the world. So we know that HIPAA and GDPR, these are quite well-known laws. So HIPAA deals with mostly healthcare information, and GDPR is a European Union law to protect individuals on their privacy. And on the right is basically some steps that we follow usually when we look at LLMs, right? So we have collecting data, processing, training, and then we have results. At each of these steps, we don't want to expose any of the data. And so, for example, at the start, when we collect these data, we ask for consent. That's a way you can minimize any risk. And then when you process data, you don't want to, you want to pseudonymize, you want to redact or mask any of your privacy data. And also when you ingest, you use secure channels. Again, these are some small ways where we can ensure HIPAA and GDPR compliance. So I identified some of the problems that we face when we deal with large-scale LLMs. And now we're going to look at how we can actually solve all this, right? And it's mostly about pre-processing. So first, we have selective extraction, which is basically, instead of feeding the entire document, we are going to create precise prompts that incorporate only the structured, clean data. And then we want to embed any SDKs. We don't want to use third-party training and third-party products, which can, again, expose our data. And thirdly, we may want to couple the IDP products that we have and RAG pipeline to make this all more efficient. So when I talk about selective extraction, what can we actually do? So you can use things, extraction modules. So for example, at Price, we also have a lot of things like document structuring and table extraction. So you use all this to cut down on the unnecessary data. So let's look at maybe IDP, which includes table detection. So yeah, okay. So for example, this is an example of how we use document structure to recognize the tables. Earlier, I talked about how you can see tables, but you can't really read the information, right? So if you look at this example, we've run document structure on this, and it kind of highlights what is the header, footer, what's a paragraph, what's a table. Even the table headers are being highlighted. And the result is given to you, the output is in a JSON format. So what you have here is a lot of relation between the data itself. So if we look at So if you look at the output here, Looks good. Okay. It's quite big, but okay. So that would be a live demo of how the document structure comes out as an output. But if you look at maybe the JSON output here, you can see the content, the type of it, and also this rectangle, which is the position. So from not knowing where things are, from not knowing what is the data type in the PDF, now we know the position, the content, and also the formatting. So you can even see font, what is the font being used. So now that we know where the things are in our document, that means we can use what's only needed. So if I, again, want to do a lot of analysis on invoices, why would I feed the whole invoice when I can only need to take out the vendor, maybe the product type and price if I'm going to analyze it? So you're going to try the table extraction that I just did on the invoice and take out just the line items that you need and then send it to the LLM. So that's one way you can just take out all the data that you need. Another would be form detection. So we also deal with a lot of forms every day. And when we fill this up, we are not really tagging the input that you have into your field. So when you draw a text box and you write something, that's not really tagged or labeled. However, if you use maybe a form detection, what you're going to do is identify the input fields that you have, and now you know what is the name. So if you write down your name, it's not really labeled as name. Only after detecting the key fields and pairing them up, you have, you know that you can extract name from maybe text input 1. Text input 2 will give a last name. So you know the labels of these fields now, which again goes back to how you're going to extract them. So now you don't have to extract all the details. You can select what you want to extract. So you're using LLM to basically, let's say, maybe generate summaries for claim agents or recommend next steps on a procedure. And what you're going to do is extract the fields that you need and convert those to structured format and then send to the LLMs and get a summary. So that would be a very easy way of recognizing what's necessary and discard the unnecessary parts of it. We also have OCR, which I'm sure many of us know how it works. It basically converts your image-based, basically your image to readable, machine-readable formats. And OCR already involves a lot of processes where there's some pre-processing, where there's skew correction, noise reduction, and contrast enhancement. And we also have segmentation, layout analysis. So OCR system identifies what parts of the document you have, and then goes in deeper and does character recognition. So that's part of what we have. And then you can use, basically use OCR to, we have other cards and we can scan the other cards, find the other card number. When you know the position, you're going to extract just those parts as well. So you combine all this, and what that gives you is a very multi-layered extraction setup, which really cuts down on a lot of data that you feed into the LLM. So we can't alter the output, which we know you want a certain number of text, you'd want a summary, you want some generation. So you can't alter the output, you can't reduce the cost of the output. What we're trying to do is reduce the input amount as well as the cost of the input. And how do we solve the privacy and compliance part, right? So the first thing that we can do is basically embed the SDK or use on-prem pre-processing. So if you use SDKs, what you're going to do is not have a third-party agent, and your documents never leave your infrastructure. So everything is within your environment, and which means that you're staying behind the firewalls. And if you're also using SDKs, offline SDKs, you have basically no internet latency, right? And it's easier to comply with strict data regulations when you're in full control of all the document data that you are using, as well as the SDKs that is using these document data. And lastly, if it's edge and offline, you are running the extraction in a remote disconnected environment that basically sends only what is required. And the last way we can do this is, the last way we can increase efficiency is coupling IDP with RAG workflows. So we know RAG, basically retrieval augmented generation. You can retrieve all the, when a user poses a query, the system search for vast collection of document, and then augmentation, which is basically combined with the original query, and the generation that is fed into the LLM, which generates a response. So you are coupling basically whatever I just said earlier into a reg and then creating a more accurate information. So we identified some problems, and we also have some solutions which basically creates more accurate and structured data to create custom data set that can greatly improve the performance and usefulness. And so there is no way we can't expose ourselves to IDP, right? We already know that a lot of companies use it, and in 2032, it's projected to grow up to 66 billion. So that is the market demand for IDP usage. It's only 5 right now, and it's go up to 66. So there's no way we can stop this growth. There's no way we can, step away from it. So we do have to get ready for efficient usage of these LLMs and also minimize our costs using that. And again, this is going to unlock a lot of benefits for you on a more businessy way, which is you're going to have fewer errors and just lower costs and enhance operational efficiency. So that would be the end of my presentation, and thank you for your attention. Yeah.